It's Bob Sansevere here with Marcus Fuller, who covers the Gophers better than anyone I've ever seen, and Pioneer Press Deputy Sports Editor John Pluym. Enough said about him. Now, Marcus, we're going to talk about Max Shortell and Marquise Gray any minute. John's going to tell you why Gray should be benched and Shortell should be the quarterback. But before we do that, Joe Mauer has made a little bit of more news than normal lately. He got a little prickly when I asked him last week if what he thought of the perception that he's soft. And I don't know if Joe's reading the comments at the bottom of stories. I think it's a little eye-opener for him because I think that a lot of people have that impression that he is soft and he's not. He needs to get into the lineup more often.
If this guy played in New York, it would be over for him already. I mean, he's lucky he's in Minnesota because he's making $23 million a year. He's got 23 RBIs, $1 million per RBI. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. You know, the fact that he's missed 63 ball games. He came into this season
by the way,
healthy.
While you're doing that, what's he making? What's his average per homer?
23 million a homer. It's like whatever happened over the offseason, whatever he did, which sounds like it wasn't much other than sit up in his cabin and bowl. He needs to turn it around. People here count on him to play. When you lay down $40 to $50 to go to a Twins game, you expect Joe Mauer to be in the lineup and not complaining because his neck's a little bit.
Well, you know the thing about Mauer, I mean, he's a very nice guy. He is a guy that if you want your kid to be look up to a role model, he's a good one because there's no underbelly to him that I would even imagine there would be. However, he does need to play. Cal Ripken, I'm sure he had a few ailments along the way. He still played over 2,600 games.
Cal Ripken knew the fans were counting on him to be in a lineup every day. And granted, I'm not in the locker room every day. I haven't been there once this year.
They call it a clubhouse there.
Clubhouse, whatever it is. It's got lockers.
They got lockers.
They got lockers.
You don't have to be in the clubhouse to know, though, that he's not playing. I mean, all you have to do is look at the box score. And
there's a lot of people who go to work every day with sore knees, sore neck, sore shoulders, migraine headaches, and they suffer through it, but they're there every day. People need to know that they can count on this guy to play 130 to 140 games a season. Because if he doesn't play that many games, this team has no chance of getting to a World Series.
Now, you know what's amazing about that, Marcus? Everything he described, he came in with today. All those ailments. And he's here because he's a gamer. Now, he wants to see Mauer in the lineup, but he wants to see Marquise Gray not out of the lineup, but not behind center. Is that right? You think Max Shortell should be the starting quarterback and Marquise Gray should be what? A wideout?
I think eventually this season you'll see Shortell as the starting quarterback.
Well, I don't know if Marcus is a bad thing if they both got some time. If you start with Marquise Gray, but you work Shortell in on some plays where you put Marquise Gray out as a receiver. Frankly, it would probably discombobulate a defense or two.
I already asked Kill the question about using the two quarterback system, and he's not up for it. I think right now you just need to get Gray as much experience as he can get under center, and Shortell will get his time. They play 3 non-conference games where they should have a chance to get a certain lead in the game, and then you can put Shortell in there. Not against USC. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense because Gray has the ability, with his athleticism to get away from some pass rushes, and I don't think Shortell can do that at this point.
Well, John, I think, disagrees because he has a smirk on his face.
No, I think those are really good points, but I think at some point you've got a guy who hasn't played quarterback in 5 seasons. He showed a lot of promise last year as a wide receiver. I think his future is as a wide receiver. He's 6'4".
You're talking future in the NFL. I mean, the future.
If he wants to play in the NFL.
But they need to play him where he's best going to help this team, and right now quarterback may be the spot, and I don't think Marcus will disagree because he's nodding his head. Now, tell me if you're going to nod your head when I tell you what we were talking about, the perception, a lot of people that the Gophers will upset Southern Cal. Are you nodding your head on that and shaking your head?
I'm definitely shaking my head. I can understand why people are so enthusiastic and excited about the first game for Jerry Kill. He's done a lot for this program already, getting the attitude where it needs to be. But USC is on the verge of showing people this year that they can contend for a Pac-10 championship. They don't have a bowl game here this year. They're playing for everything. And pride. It's at home. Last year they didn't play so well to start the season. USA didn't, and they almost lost to the Gophers. It was a close game going into the fourth quarter. So, I think Matt Barkley is a Heisman candidate if he can get off to a fast start in these first few games, and they definitely have the wide receivers to do some damage.
We know it's interesting.
Barkley's the second best quarterback in college football,
and in the Pac-10,
right behind Andrew Luck. I mean, if you're looking ahead to the 2012 NFL draft, like I happen to be, Barkley is going to be a top 5 guy. And then you've got the offensive tackle, Ryan Khalil, who's a great talent. He's probably going to be another top 10 guy. So this is still a very talented USC team. And anybody who thinks that Minnesota is going to upset these guys, don't even turn your TV on Saturday because it's not going to happen.
What is going to happen, though, with the Vikings? How's that for a transition? Now, the Donovan McNabb, I happen to think that it's not going to be a Brett Favre 2009 deal, but I think that people will be surprised at how he plays after the misery he had in Washington, because I don't think he's done by any stretch.
I don't either. The guy moves great in the pocket. He still has the great arm, evidenced by the pass he threw to Bernard Berrien. It was like 60 yards in the air. He threw a bullet a few series later to Michael Jenkins. I mean, this is a guy who's still very talented, knows how to move in the pocket, knows how to escape trouble, can read defenses. I mean, he's thrown 100 more touchdowns than interceptions in his career. He's a very good quarterback. He was put in a bad situation with the egomaniac Mike Shanahan in Washington. So I expect big things from Shanahan, or big things from McNabb. The question is how is the offensive line going to hold up in front of him? And that's the part I think scares everybody right now.
Well, the other question is how's the secondary going to hold up? Because you've been predicting, 6-10 for them?
I don't see them winning more than 6 games. I
think they're going to surprise. I think they can get above, at or above, just above the 500 mark.
This is a team with few stars, with aging stars. I mean, Antoine Winfield's at the end of his career. Jared Allen didn't show much last year until the second half of the season. I don't think he has a sack in this preseason yet, and he had a chance at Tavares Jackson. And if they can't count on Allen for 14 to 15 sacks to help that secondary, they're going to be in trouble.
I'll tell you what, this is one time when the start of the season, the first game, you will know. I have a great idea of how good this team will be. If they somehow beat San Diego, that team is going to do very well because they would have stopped one of the best passing games in football, and we'll be talking about that real soon.